We're back this week for another edition of Te Akau TV, and we've got Sam Burgesson joining us this morning. Sam, what's all the news with you, mate?
But busy enough week, Hazy. We had a good team in at Matamata and sort of 30-odd trial there at Taupō. So it was good to get through some grass trials. Obviously, it's sort of hard to find a sort of a grass surface to trial those younger horses on. But we got through plenty yesterday, and there were some nice trials there. And then a big weekend of runners, sort of the South Island, and then Tauranga and Wellington as well. So yeah, cracking along nicely.
Excellent. And you've obviously got through Cup Week there, and obviously you're on course there at Ellerslie there on Saturday. But I remember getting to see Imperatriz with you on screen.
Yeah, look, she was fantastic. So proud of her effort. Obviously lugged a massive weight, and the winner carried a lot less. But fair play to the winner. He was really good. He got a lovely run. It was a fantastic ride by Jamie Carr. But she was so game. And all reports are that she's pulled up well, and she's off to the William Reid, which is obviously very exciting, getting back to the Valley, which she loves.
And there's a handful of horses there running at the Valley, I think, on the 23rd, 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, so certainly booked on the plane on Wednesday. She is going to contest a nice sort of fillies mile there, Campionessa in the Sunline, Quintessa, and then potentially Mezzabine as well. So, look, a really nice team of horses that have run really well here in New Zealand, and are now hopefully going to fly the flag over there.
Excellent. Well, sticking to the Melbourne theme, the team's been busy at the English Premier Sale over there over the last week or so, and they've bought 4 nice horses, and we can report here that all 4 of these are going directly into the Melbourne barn. 2 of a bit of interest to you, Sam. I know the 2 that have got remaining shares left. Do you want to touch quickly on the Royal Meeting Alana's Party and the Cool Isabel Love Bay? Both are closely related to horses that you've got in the barn there.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Royal Meetings. Obviously, a half to Bellatrix Star, who we had a lot of success with as a 2-year-old this year. Ran really creditably in the Cracker Million for 4th. And he looks like a ripping colt, really athletic. Mark said he looked very early and precocious. And Royal Meeting just sired the Blue Diamond winner, Hayasugi, I think that's pronounced that way. So look, he's a sire in form as well, and looks very promising. So a really nice colt for 280,000. Obviously, we thought was very good value, and the Cool Isabel a bit on the cheaper side of that, 75,000. Closely related to Superbly Ridden, who was a fantastic last start winner at Riccarton, a filly we've always really liked, and that has plenty of upside. Who we think will be in for a good season next year, and obviously the goal with her is Black Type as well.
And also closely related to another horse called Brosnan that came 3rd in the Sires, I believe, up in Brisbane there during the Winter Carnival a couple of years ago as well. So $75,000 for that horse, I would have thought, is very, very good buying. And the team love the Cool Isabels. They're buying plenty of them. So if you want a horse, I guess, racing in Melbourne directly into the stable there, then those are probably the 2 you want to be having a look at. So get in touch with the team over the weekend. And a quick look at the winners of the week that's been. So Trentham there on Saturday. I Choose You, Sam.
Yeah, very good effort. She was sort of a long time out of the winner's circle, so it was really good to see her bounce back to form. I think she might have even run a track record as well. So it was a really good effort. It was aided by a really good ride by Ashvin, who's doing plenty of work for us, sort of down in the South Island and up here as well. So it was good to see him grab a winner as well. And look, yeah, she's a bit hard going, but sort of the 1,000, 1,100 meter races really suit her. So I thought a really good effort, and hopefully, she's got a bit of confidence now and can go on with it.
And Matamata there on Wednesday in the South Waikato Cup. The Mighty Spa beat a pretty handy field there with Arby and the Snazzy Tassie as well.
Yeah, it was good. He's went back to back in the South Waikato Cup. Still showing he's got plenty of zip there on the flat. Obviously, he's a pretty handy jumper, and he'll probably end up over the sticks sort of later in the season. And was aided by a very good ride by Jess. Sort of got him into a lovely spot, and was very patient up the straight there, and he just held on. So a really good effort.
And Tranquilla there on Thursday there at Ashburton in the Cambridge Stud Colours.
Yeah, and another one aided by a very good ride. Warren gave her a lovely run. Drew Barrier won, which obviously always helps. But yeah, a Pill Series race as well. So it was a really good win, and hopefully she can go on with it. I think she's heading to some Black Type now. There's a mile fillies race down there for her, which looks right up her alley, and hopefully she can snag some black type, which will make her a lot more valuable.
Excellent. Well, let's kick things off in Tauranga. I believe we've got 10 there and 6 down in the Group 1 meeting for them, and we'll kick off in race 3, the Mills Reef Wines 1400, rating 65 benchmark. Family ties, draws barrier 9 with Jessica Allen on board.
Yeah, it's sort of be interesting to see how much rain they get. They are forecast a bit of rain there today, and we got absolutely drenched here this morning at Matamata. So be interesting to see how the track plays. If there is a bit of rain about it, actually probably suit her. She's got a sort of a short, choppy action, and she seems to like rain-affected ground. And I thought her first up run here at Matamata was really good, up to the 1400 suits, and Jess knows her really well. So I think she's actually a really nice each-way chance.
And race 4, the Bay of Plenty Equine Bets Open Handicap. I know the one up the top of the book likes the mud there as well, but Fashion Shoot, she's no mug, draws barrier 2 with Kelly Myers on board.
Yeah, there's a couple of handy runners in this, so it should be an interesting race. Obviously, Fashion Shoot's in really good form. Just put by Carmen Line there on Breeders' Stakes Day, who she meets again. But probably, Fashion Shoot gets in quite well, even though she is carrying 57 with Mustang Valley up there, lugging the top weight. We still think she gets in quite well and seems in good form, so she always tries hard.
And race 5, Frocked Up Girls 3-year-old, set weight and penalties 1200. Another field with some really nice progressive gallopers in here as well. Valentine draws barrier 5 with Jessica Allen on board, and she turns heads the last start one and draws barrier 1 with Kelly Myers on board.
Yeah, you did right. Obviously, a lot of numbers, but pretty high in quality. I think there's a few reputations in this. Like Valentine's trial probably looked very plain, but he sort of put his foot in a hole, and then sort of Bill was really quiet on up the straight, but he actually pulled up fine. He just took a bad step, but he's been very sound since. His track work's been super. I think Jess will suit him. He'll be positive, and probably he may even set the tempo, but he'll be in the first sort of 2 or 3 then there. And I think any rain around wouldn't worry him. And she turns heads. Obviously, it was good to get a last start win. She really deserved it, obviously, after a string of placings. And hopefully now she's got a bit of confidence and can go on with it. Obviously, a nice barrier, and barrier 1 there will probably ride her a bit colder. I think that's probably the key to her. And if she settles and gets the right breaks, I'm sure she can be in it again.
And race 6 there, the World's End Bar and Restaurant, rating 75 benchmark 1200. 2 take their place. Insatiable had a nice freshen up since he finished his campaign in December and was knocking on the door there with a 3rd at Te Rapa, and Marlborough Bay draws barrier 4 with Jessica Allen on board.
Oh, and Akau and Polly Plum down the bottom. So four in this one. Insatiable, look, if he gets a good track, I think he'll be very, very hard to beat. He's flying here at home. Track work's been super. His run at Te Rapa was very good. So hopefully, there's a good track there tomorrow, and with the right run, he just needs to get a bit of cover and relax, and he can really round it off. Marlborough Bay, any rain wouldn't worry him. He probably may need the run. He's carrying plenty of condition. He's first up. So he'll definitely improve with the outing. Akau is in really good form, was just had no luck at Wanganui there, stuck wide, but was really game and wasn't beaten far. And Polly Plum probably needs to improve off her last start efforts. We whacked the blinkers on her again. Hopefully that sharpens her up a bit, but should get a lovely run from barrier 3. She'll be positive, and hopefully she can be there for a long way.
And race 7, the Manco 1600, rating 65 benchmark. Balance of Power seems to be relaxing a bit more on his runs now, Sam. So it looks to be a pretty progressive horse.
Yeah, up to the mile, I think really suits him, obviously, by Manzor. Probably the further he goes, the better he gets. And if he was to run well, there's probably some nice stakes, 3-year-old stakes races for him at the back end of the season. But look, he's going well. We can't fault him on his track work here at home. Little bit of a sticky gate, but if he gets some cover there and with the right run, another one, I think that could be a nice each-way chance.
Excellent. And race 8 there, the Super Liquor Greaton 1600, rating 75 benchmark. Xantabulous, good last start. Another progressive galloper that the stable has a bit of time for.
Yeah, her sectionals were the best of the race late there at Matamata, up to a mile. Again, another one that suits, got a nice soft barrier. But yeah, this is another field actually that's pretty high in quality. There's a few really good gallopers in this, so we'll get a really good line on her there. But we think she's up to it.
Over to Trentham there, we kick off in race any home size Prelude Premier 2-year-old set weight and penalties 1200. Altari, he looks a bit of a bull, this fella, sat 3 wide on the pace at Matamata and won really decisively.
Yeah, obviously a massive effort. We drew wide and we wanted to be positive. Unfortunately, never got in, but fair play to him. He stuck his neck out and had a real crack. So he's gone the right way. Since we think Opie galloped him on Tuesday and was really bullish about his work, we think he's gone the right way. Obviously, he's going to travel down there, but we think he's got the sort of mental aptitude to cope with it. He's pretty straightforward here at home and seems to love his food and the role he's got here in the stable. So as long as he does everything well and travels down well, we're confident he can run a really good race.
And race 5 there, the listed Lincoln Farms Lightning Handicap. Patrici takes her place for Trelawney. She's been chasing home some pretty smart gallopers, and I thought she got in here pretty well in the weights relative to some of the others.
Yeah, for sure. I think her last start run was really good. We think probably back to left-handed maybe suits her a bit more. We think she'll like the shoot down Trentham. Good jockey on Michael, who knows her very well, and her work on Tuesday was really top notch. Opie galloped her and said she's flying, so she's come out of that Ellerslie run really well, and we think she's going to be a really nice chance there on Saturday.
Race 7, the Group 2 Live Direct Guineas, 3-year-old set weights, 1,400 metres. This race tends to throw up some pretty good gallopers and some pretty good past winners of the race. And Tokyo Tycoon's not without his place in that lineup, being a crack a million 2-year-old winner. Went up towards the Derby distance there in the Avondale Guineas and now drops back and trip to the 1,400 metres.
Yeah, look, obviously we had a crack over ground and it didn't work, so we've given him a good freshen up. This will be his last run of the season, but he's freshened up really well. Another one that Opie said, was really good on Tuesday morning there. And look, obviously on his day, he's more than capable. He just needs to get back into that winning form. So look, on his day, if he travels down and he brings his A game, I'm sure he can be in it, especially from barrier 1. He should get a lovely run somewhere in behind the speed there. And Opie obviously knows him very well. So look, we'll obviously know a lot more after Saturday, but we think he's freshened well into it. And
my lips are sealed there. The 3-year-old filly by Ace High, who's been running through the Pearl Series fillies races there. Draws barrier 3 with Lisa Walker on board.
Yeah, another one sort of similar to Tokyo. We tried to get up over a trip, and it sort of didn't really work. So we freshened her up as well. She had a little spin around between races at Matamata, not on Wednesday, but the 1-2 weeks earlier to that, and she worked really well. Another one we think that could run a race. She's got a nice soft gait, but there are a few handy gallopers, so hopefully she can sneak some black type. Has run it well at Trentham before.
And Vivacious thought she ran a big race there at Hawke's Bay behind Sakura Season last up.
Yeah, she did. Unfortunately, hasn't travelled down. She's had a bit of a sore foot there this morning, so won't take her place, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'm sure her day will come another day.
Excellent. And race 8 there, the Group 1 Al Basti Equiworld Dubai New Zealand Oaks. Kwali Al Farasha takes her place there, the daughter of Al Manzoor, homebred filly. Draws barrier 6 with the services of Opie Bossum.
Yeah, obviously we've won it with a homebred before, so hopefully we can do it again there on Saturday. Look, she's in really good form. Worked on the rail here at Matamata. Was really strong work with Mezzabine. Got a nice barrier, which sort of gives Opie a few options. I think we'll probably be pretty neutral from the barrier. Probably the 2400 is probably going to be the query, we think. But look, Opie was confident following the Sunline Vast that she's going to be a really good chance come Saturday. She's still a little bit green, sort of got to the 100 there where she looked like she was going to win and sort of pricked the ears and had a good look around. But we think she's gone the right way and taken improvement from the run. So look, it looks a pretty even field on paper and she certainly deserves her chance.
Excellent. Well, Sam, that wraps up the runners for the weekend. Where are we going for the best bet? We've been missing your services over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've actually been rather poor this season, so hopefully we can get back on track a little bit. But I'm going to go to Wellington in the first. I think Altari in the 2-year-old race. I think he's found the right race for him. There are looks like a couple of handy gallopers, but we think he's up to it, and hopefully he can press his claim for the Manitou size in a few weeks' time.
Excellent. Altari there in the first race there at Trentham as Sam's best bet. Thanks for your time, Sam. Next week, I think it's a pretty low-key New Zealand weekend of racing with I think 2 non-premier meetings there at Tauranga and Riccarton, but of course all eyes will be on the Valley with those 5 charges lining up over there as well. But thanks for your time, Sam. We'll catch you again sometime soon.
Racing excitement, join Team Akau. It's easy, fun and affordable to be part of New Zealand's #1 stable, and we're now in Australia too. We've won more races, more group races and more prize money than any other stable, nearly $10 million in Australia and New Zealand alone. Imagine racing horses like Imperatriz, Campionessa, whether you're a first-time owner or seasoned pro at tiakauracing.com. Go the Tangerine!